Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike is here. Garrett is here. Hello, Garrett. How are you?
Hey, howdy. Doing all right.
How was your weekend, pal?
It's actually a good weekend. Hit up the cider mill with the family.
All right. Yeah. Dude, I miss this time of year. This is maybe my favorite time of year in Michigan. I love certain aspects of like dead of summer, sitting at the pool in my backyard. Like I love that in Michigan. But you know me and my sweatshirts, I'm usually just trying to cover
Yeah.
up fatness. So sweatshirts is my preferred uniform. Um, and that those fall before it gets into the hell of winter. Um, the fall time in Michigan is just the fucking best, man. Just
All
that, you
two
know,
weeks of it.
no, it's longer than that, but your point is well taken. You're not
Yeah.
wrong. But those days when you've got a blue sky and it's 58 degrees, 63 degrees, those kind of days, I'm assuming it may have been something around that area.
It's 80 right now.
It's 80 right
Sunny.
now. Yeah.
It's 80
Yeah.
and beautiful out.
Yeah, there's something weird. It's like 80 here too. Sunny, but it's like that every day. So it's not as cool, but those leaves changing, kind of crispness in the air, especially as it gets at the dusk, time of day. It's just awesome. I just love it, man. In Michigan, I miss that a lot, where it feels like the place to go is a pumpkin patch or the cider mill. Like it's where you should be.
Oh, yeah.
Tailgating at a football game. It just seems weird here. Like, yeah, oh great, another fucking blue sky sunny day that's 80 out. It just
You'll
doesn't.
enjoy it in the winter a little bit.
Huh?
You'll enjoy it
Oh,
in January.
for sure, for sure. And I'm going to enjoy it this coming weekend, especially because I'm going up north. Um, I'll give you guys kind of the itinerary because I'm probably gonna miss a day this week. Probably won't be able to do Wednesday, and that's because Tooch is coming to town. I'm so excited, man.
It'll be
Tooch,
worth it.
Tooch, Tooch is gonna be here. It's just gonna kind of fuck up the day, honestly. He's flying in, and he'll be here Wednesday. He'll be here through the weekend. And so he gets here Wednesday, and then so I'll hang out with him, and we'll spend Wednesday, kicking around Arizona together around here, and then he and my brother, uh, myself, and Co go up north to Chris Co. I know that's his actual name, Crisco. It's fucking hilarious, Chris Co. Dude's amazing, but he's got this incredible property up north in Arizona, and I think it's called Shiloh or Snowlow, Arizona, something like that. But it's on a golf course, and we did this golf like boys weekend out, and went, did like 3 days of golf and hung out. It's just the best time. Unbelievably gorgeous course. His house is fucking incredible. One of these just mega palaces, with it's incredible, and all the fixins, all the shit, and it's like, you know, record football, go play golf, and then come home and watch football together, get hammered, and play ping pong at night. Like it's awesome. And so we had so much fun.
Clarify that ping pong at the end of the night.
Huh?
You might want to clarify that ping pong at the end of the night because
That-
everything
it's
leading up to it.
It's
Just
not
saying.
it's not some gay fucking thing you
I'm
and your
making
buddies
sure.
would do.
I'm making sure.
I don't know what ping pong means in your community.
You don't want to.
Ping pong in my community, Garrett, just means like small paddles, little tiny balls.
No, table
And,
tennis.
Table tennis. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't even want to know what ping pong refers to in your community.
And you
I'm not
never
here to
will.
judge. Huh?
And you never will.
I've seen it at there's certain bars in Mexico for something that involve ping pongs.
Yeah.
We've seen that. And I imagine your community does similar
We have
awesome
a spin on it.
family related stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
very
bet you-
family related. It's as family friendly as a drag queen strip club.
So yeah, sure. Drag queen story hour for children.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So anyways, no, we do actually boring, your typical straight guy ping pong table tennis. But it's
Oh, sure.
it's just so much fun. We had so much fun last time. We were like, you know what? We're doing this annually, and here we are. So Tooch is flying in. Now, I do want to say Chris Coe, for his part. Now, he works with G, my brother, not together. They have separate companies, but they do a lot of work together. And Chris is one of the most fascinating, interesting human beings I've ever encountered. There's a handful of these guys. I'm convinced Chris is going to be one of these private jet billionaires at some point, one of those dudes. So he's well on his way now. I call him the mayor. He reminds me a lot of Matt Riley. One of those dudes who is all about life, but his story is nothing short of incredible. Incredible. From where he began, what his childhood was like, what I don't even want to give any of it away. I may have mentioned some of it in the past. So I was thinking, and I probably have to run this by Aaron or Trav or something. I was thinking about possibly, because it's going to fuck up Monday too, because we're driving home from up north. That's a 3-hour drive. And then I got to take Tooch right to the airport. It just won't work timing wise. So Wednesday, I would count on no show. Monday, no show as well. It's just gonna be one of those time things. But I'm was looking at this setup here, and I don't see why I can't grab 3 microphones and all my equipment here and plug in at his place and do an interview with Co while I'm there. And I think it could be a tremendous amount of fun. Break out the whiskey, have some fun, sit down and bullshit for a couple hours. I think you guys will get a lot out of it. It's a different story than any you've heard before. And he's an incredible human being. So I can't make any promises because I don't know how, but the setup should travel the same. I should be able to get at least a recording of it there. I don't know when you're 3 hours up north into the woods of Arizona, what kind of live streaming shot you would get. My guess is not very good, but I know you have trouble with phone stuff. So I don't know technically if it'll work, but I know
he's got one of those houses with all the works. He probably has fiber or something. You could
exactly. Literally 5 minutes before we started, I was like, I bet I could do that. I bet I could just go up there and wing it with him and have fun, and then have something to post Monday for people that would be, an interview with Chris. And I think you guys would get a lot out of it. So we'll see. That's maybe I can give you an update give you guys an update on that. I don't, I would just do it myself. I wouldn't need you involved for something like that, Garrett. It'd be too hard to hook things up. But,
good.
But it could be fun. But just wanted to give you guys the heads up in advance that's kind of how the week's playing out. First time someone's coming out here to visit me. I'm really excited for that. I haven't seen Tooch in a minute, and he's just, I did an interview with him in members area, and people loved it. Maybe I'll even talk to Tooch, throw him on there too, because he's the best sales guy I've ever seen. I've been around 1,000 of them. He's by far the best I've ever seen. He's an incredible human being too. So maybe we'll do a roundtable with it, but
that'd be fun.
Yeah. It could be really, really cool. We coming off the weekend. It's always fun. It's official. Michigan might be one of the worst teams in the country. I don't even want to waste time talking about them. They are pathetic, terrible. As bad as that is as bad a situation as you can get. And it's too bad. It's unfortunate because that defense is decent. But when you don't have a quarterback, not because your first string got injured and then your backup went down. No, you don't have a first string quarterback. You don't have a second string quarterback. You don't have a third string quarterback at all capable of making plays. You are fucked as a team. And it's for $1 billion organization. These schools act like they care about students and it's all about scholastic. No, let's be honest. It's a professional sports league.
Yeah,
that's all it is. And it's too bad. I am absolutely bored to tears watching them. But the Lions, on the other hand,
I was going to say, at least we got one team now.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about last week when Hutch went down, and everybody was acting like the world had collapsed, and it's like, nah. If I understand from an emotional standpoint what kind of leader that guy is, and as you guys know, Aiden Hutchinson's a personal friend. Well, I met him at a gas station, took a picture with him, but same thing basically. He's a good friend of mine, and that's a catastrophic loss for your team, no doubt about it. But when franchises are stable, built well coached, and have good athletes, and their starting quarterback is upright, sky's the limit. You're going to lose pieces. You're going to have injuries. They're hard to overcome, but that's as good a team as you're going to get in Minnesota. Very good defense. They have weapons. Sam Darnold, I firmly believe was, this will be an unpopular take, but I don't think he's necessarily the problem. I think he's a legit overall number one pick, same as Jared Goff. If you're one of those guys, you tend to go to really shitty franchises, and if those franchises are run ineptly, there's, can a very, very experienced Tom Brady take that and make something out of nothing? Yes. Can a guy like Patrick Mahomes do more with less than most? Yes. But for the most part, if you surround these guys with a protection line, a few weapons, competent coaching staff, you can accomplish a lot. That Minnesota team is legit. The Lions are the best team in the NFC. They might be the best team in football. They might be.
That is
what could have been a letdown. What's that?
That's what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, they look like the best team in football, and when you watch games that aren't the Lions, you see the inadequacies. This Lions team will absolutely have bumps in the road. They may have a 2-3 game losing streak at some point. That happens. What you saw yesterday was really important. Them being on the road, losing a captain the week before, and the best player on defense, one of the best 3 players on your entire roster, soul-crushing loss in Aiden Hutchinson. You go on the road in a divisional game against one of the other premier teams in the league. You go down 10-0. The crowd is going crazy. How do you respond? What do you do? And the Lions beat their ass from there on out. I know it was close, came down to a field goal at the end, probably shouldn't have. The Lions kind of dominated that game after going down 10-0 in a hostile environment, and nobody panicked. Coaching didn't radically alter everything. They stuck with the plan. No one panicked on the player side, the coach's side. They knew they were a good team. They knew they'd be in it, and they did just that. And it's what great teams do. And the other thing is, as G and I were watching the game, it was like, here's the difference between lousy teams, good teams, and championship caliber teams. Championship caliber teams find a way to fucking win those games. Oh, because, when they talk about no moral victories, that's kind of thing like, hey, we got down early and we made it close, and then we lost at the end by a field goal. Like, hey, we can compete with anybody. That's cute. That's what, good teams can do that, and you lose some of those games. It's how you lose home field advantage. It's how you end up on the road during the playoffs. You end up a wild card team. Championship caliber teams find ways to win those games. And so it was really important that the Lions in the end went down, drained the clock. I wasn't thrilled with the way they did that with the knees at the end, but they found a way to do that and kick that field goal and win. Not flawless, not mistake free, but that's what championship caliber teams do in this league. And this team, barring injury to your quarterback, okay? Now, you could have a situation where you lose too many weapons and then you're Miami Dolphins of last year. You've just lost too many players to be effective. But if you can stay relatively healthy, this team should absolutely be as good and as capable of going to and winning a Super Bowl as anyone in the NFL. It's as simple as that, which is so exciting for those of us that are Lions fans that have been starved for decades with ineptitude, across the board in so many ways. It's really exciting. I pray that they stay upright and your quarterback stays healthy. You get nervous when they get hit, but Jared Goff, if protected, is capable. He's not going to scramble anywhere. He's not going to kill you with his legs, but he'll pick your ass apart if given the chance. And this line is special, but it is fragile. You saw number 74, I can't remember his name, coming in yesterday, and 3 penalties on him that were, like you get one flaw in there and it can kind of fuck up what you have going. So something to keep an eye on. The other NFL news, there's a couple stories in there that are kind of interesting. Deshaun Watson goes down.
Oh, no.
Yeah, poor Deshaun. And immediately you saw it. Anytime a player goes down without getting hit, you go, ooh, that's a problem. And it usually means something popped, something did. And you could see it in the replay immediately, crystal clear shots. His Achilles popped and rolled up in his calf. And I could hear all the devastated women across the globe seeing Deshaun Watson go down. So he went down with just a minute left in the second. They ended up losing to the Bengals 21-14. The injury will sideline him for the remainder of the season. If he undergoes successful surgery, there's a belief he could be healthy to make a return week 1 of the 25 season. None of us care about that. There was talk. He's been heckled at the state. He looks like shit. He hasn't looked like a real NFL quarterback in a few years now. And he's gone through this horrible, not him, everybody else, credibly accused of sexual assault by many, many women. I think there's variables to that story. There's something about all those women coming from Atlanta. Like, why are you flying in to this guy's home? Like, you can't find a massage therapist in Houston? You need 60 of them from around the country being flown in. Like, that tells me that something else is going on. Atlanta is literally the fucking hooker capital of America. Wink, wink. Yeah. So he was bringing in women in a lot of those cases. And a lot of them, he was finding hot chicks on Instagram that were massage therapists and taking advantage of them. So there's a mixture of a few things. It sounds like pretty clear-cut sexual assault allegations. And I have some of the women's stories. I'll read some of them to you about what they accused him of and how those went down. It's terrible, but so the crowd has given up on him, and it goes to show you, like, if he was out there lighting it up, he's just carving defenses, he's running all over them, and the Browns are winning, they'd overlook all this, just like Cincinnati fans did with Joe Mixon, who you watched literally punch a chick in the face, and they're like,
never happened.
Boys will be boys, and live and learn. Go Bengals. There's a lot of that. But when he sucks, you end up getting booed out of your own damn stadium. The heckling came 1 week after Watson managed to complete 16 of 23 for 168 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, in a loss to the Eagles. That's not good enough. His performances sparked calls for him to be exiled to the bench, and they should do that just for lousy play. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski insisted that he was sticking with Watson as his starting QB over Jameis Winston. Now, I know that doesn't mean much to you, but if I was to put this in terms that anybody can understand, this is Kevin Stefanski, if given the choice of Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston. So Garrett, would you like for lunch a dog shit sandwich or a cat shit sandwich?
Ooh, I'm going to have to go with the cat shit, a little more crunchy.
Yeah, you're going to go with cat shit? Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the choices you were given,
Pretty
right?
much.
You weren't even like, would you like a Spam sandwich or dog shit sandwich? You were given cat shit or dog shit.
Yeah.
That's what his options were. And if you're being honest, I think Deshaun Watson, for all his issues, is probably a better the dog shit platter is probably better than the cat shit platter right out of the litter box, because I don't want to eat those rocks that are in cat litter.
That's the texture I was talking about.
Yeah, you say it's crunchy, but I don't want anything to do with that. Like, I'd break teeth and stuff where it's like, I've got to eat the shit anyways.
More soft-servy.
Yeah, more soft-servy, but...
How many pillows did the dog eat beforehand?
Yeah, not enough. But, the dog shit would just be dog shit. And that's not ideal. But at least it's not covered in rocks, too. Which is what the cat shit would give you. Watson was traded to the Browns for 6 draft picks, including 3 ones, despite being sued by more than 24 female massage therapists for sexual harassment the year before. Not 20 years before when he was a teenager or something, or 15 years before when he was in high school, and he's grown up, he's learned, he's matured. No, the year before. So the NFL, showing how much they stand with all women, believe all women, care about everybody. They're going to virtue signal to you that message constant. It's constant stream because they care. They want women involved in everything. So these dozens of women who accused one of their stars of sexual assault, they suspended him for 11 games.
No.
And they're like, how dare you rape these women?
Timeout.
Yeah, you go sit on the bench. You go in timeout for 11 games.
Think about your actions.
Last month, by the way, it hasn't stopped. Last month, it was revealed he's being sued for more than $1 million by a new woman who accused him of sexually assaulting her in Texas 4 years ago. He strongly denies that. So you go back to 2020 March. Plaintiff has run a massage therapy business since 2018 as a licensed therapist. So not just some hot chick that will rub your shoulders, licensed therapist. He contacted her via direct message on Instagram, insisted no one else be present during the massage. The woman alleges Watson exposed his cock and balls and touched her hand with his panus. She says she ended the massage abruptly, and Watson told her, "I know you have a career and a reputation, and I know you would hate for someone to mess with yours, just like I don't want anyone messing with mine." He later texted to apologize. She did not respond. You can choose to believe these stories or not. It's up to you. I'm not going to tell you how to think, but I can tell you what some of these were. April 19th of 2020 at a Houston spa, licensed esthetician, I don't know what that is. Esthetician.
Is somebody who gives you anesthesia?
No, that's an anesthesiologist.
Anesthesiologist, okay.
Yeah. Esthetician who owns her. That's skincare. She owns her own skincare business. She was contacted by Watson via Instagram. He directed the woman to work on crevices in his groin area. Yeah, really get in there deep near the ball bag. When he rolled onto his back, fucking rock. Absolutely rock hard.
Oh, yeah.
Put it away, Garrett. I can almost see your pants creeping up as I do this story. This man was rock fucking hard and then repeatedly touched her hand onto his panus, and then he busted a nut, leaving her confused and mortified. I don't know what would be confusing about that. Seems pretty straightforward. Mortified, I get. I would be mortified too at that.
A little bit.
A certified personal trainer, this is May 28th of 2020, did not specialize in massage, says Watson wanted to book her anyway and told her he wanted to focus on his groin, glutes, and lower abdominals. So lower abdominals. Yeah.
Yeah. Groin.
Why does your mic sounds terrible all of a sudden?
I don't know. I've been having problems all day.
That's better.
Oh, it's better?
Yeah, that's better.
I didn't even do anything.
Okay. You went like this all of a sudden really quick.
Okay, but I'm good now, right?
You're good. Yeah, that sounds best now.
Awesome. Then I'll leave it here.
Okay. At one point to this poor woman, Watson exposed his panus and moved it to her hand. That's his move, man. That's his thing. Grabbing women's hands, strange women's hands, and putting them on his dong. Watson told her, "I hope you do not mind if we continue this massage this way." The woman started stuttering and said, "I do not know," before ending the massage. He texted her later that day to ask if she was okay. June of 2020, the plaintiff has been in the massage business for about 11 years and is a licensed therapist who routinely works with pro athletes. Contacted her via, what do you think?
Twitter.
No,
it's usually where it happens.
No, Instagram. Okay. Time and time again, we're seeing
close.
Instagram. Instagram is his spot.
Okay.
He's DMing these ladies, telling her, look, lady, I make a lot of therapists uncomfortable. It's really hard for me to find someone who will meet my needs. Ladies, if someone says that to you, that's the red flag you're looking for, right? Yeah. You're not in the room with them. This is through social media. If someone says that I'm really struggling to find someone to meet my needs and I make a lot of therapists uncomfortable and shit, that's where you go, yeah, I'm not going to be one of those therapists that is made uncomfortable and shit. So thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah.
During the appointment, he continually tried to remove towels and exposed his panus multiple times and moved in such a way to make his panus touch the plaintiff. She's swinging it back and forth. He tried to schedule future appointments with her, and she ignored him. This goes on. Let's see. Plaintiff offered Watson a teeth whitening and sauna detox when he originally reached out. Watson asked about Swedish massage. She said she would try to learn it before his appointment. During the appointment, the woman says Watson lay naked on his stomach, told her to massage the area underneath his balls and asshole. He said anus, but that's what he means. By
underneath balls and anus, would that be taint, or are we going back past the asshole? Like,
I don't know. Like I've never asked anyone to massage underneath my genitals and anus.
Yeah, because
so that's cock and balls and asshole, right?
I feel like he could also just mean his thighs and stuff, because he said underneath balls and anus.
Yes, genitals and anus.
Yeah, I would say between genitals and anus is taint. That's a taint massage.
Yeah, that's taint grounds.
Okay, but below.
Is he just getting cute with the verbiage here?
I think he's getting a little cute with the verbiage. I think he's trying to word it in a way. Maybe she catches on and starts going for the taint. Maybe she gets confused. Got to trip him up.
So massage the area underneath my genitals and anus. Before he flipped onto his back, as the plaintiff massaged his groin, he busted a nut in her face.
Oh, nice. Do you think he flipped on his back and threw his legs up too? Help her get under there?
I don't know.
That'd been a funny one. The chasing table pose.
If he screamed incoming or anything, I don't know if there was any warning.
Geronimo grabbed his legs.
Yeah, maybe. So he busted a nut on her face and her titties, it sounds like. He then took her hand and had it touch his padoose. The woman called a friend later that day to say what happened because she was in shock. I don't blame her at all. She should be in shock from that.
Nope. Shout out for Cord. He said Swedish. I said penis.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Thank you, Cord. Let's see. This goes on and on. So when the NFL tries to pretend that they care about, so they're just out there for the little guy. They're out there, and this goes on and on for pages and pages. That's just a few of them. The story doesn't deviate much from that. I think he forced one woman's mouth onto it. So how did the NFL handle that? Well, they suspended him for 11 games because, bad boy can't do that. And we love all women, obviously, and no bullying. Yeah. No. Nobody bully either. The NFL is very clear about this. They want to stop hate. That's their, they're going to tell you every day, we got to end racism.
Yeah.
So they've got all the catchphrases, but in practice, they seem to be a different organization, We'll get into more of that in a second. So his deal was 5 years, $230 million. He didn't sign that before this information was available. This was publicly available, talked about a lot. And then they allowed the Cleveland Browns to give him a 5-year, $230 million contract, $44,965,000 upfront cash. Here you go. That $230 million was guaranteed completely. Okay, that's rare. Language exists that will not forfeit signing bonus or void future guarantees upon suspension. So even if we're going to try to pretend we're punishing him for being all naughty with all these women, he still gets his money. Also, as a full,
to him, that's a good contract.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Oh yeah,
full no trade clause, 2024 to 2026. Sorry, folks, you're stuck with him. Mm-hmm. You can't trade him. You can't not pay him. You can't cut him. And if you cut him, you make it worse because then you take a lump hit to your salary cap.
Yep.
So you're fucked. Good luck, Cleveland. Good luck with that one.
He played you just like the masseuses.
Yeah. It's incredible that these people with a straight face can pretend that they care about, no bullying, or they care about these human beings that play their game. And I want to be clear about this. Do I think Dan Campbell cares about the health and well-being of the kids that play under him? These young men that play for him? Absolutely, I do. Yeah. Absolutely, I believe that these coaches care about these guys as people. They're friends. They, they both need each other. And I think Dan Campbell, especially someone like Dan Campbell, who played this game at this level, understands these players and their concerns on a deep level. The NFL as an organization does not. They prove it time and time again that they do not give a shit. They think they can get away with whatever by having cute little buzzwords meant to elicit emotion from dumb people, from stupid, vulnerable people. Oh my God, the NFL wants to stop hate. Well, when you think of hate, what do you think of? You think of bullying? Bullying, right? Historically, who bullied people in your high school?
Yeah, usually the jocks.
Yeah, that's usually who it was.
Well, no,
you
believe
didn't,
all women except the ones that accuse our players.
Right. Historically, and I'm sure there's anecdotal evidence of this, but if you did a grand scale of who was bullying kids in high school, it's not the loner kid in class who doesn't have many friends, who's kind of weak. He's not the one bullying people, right?
No,
it's
not the biggies.
It's the jockheads. It's the football team that's historically doing that. So, if you want to send that message to people that, bullying is bad, okay. The end hate campaign bullshit strikes me as nonsense and garbage. You will never end hate. It's more divisive in its name. It's pointing the finger that all of us hate people for various reasons. Hate is something that has caused myriad problems around the world. It's never solved any of them. So when you send a message of ending hate, it says that the majority of us are hateful. The majority of us are hateful, and it can be the part that's so insulting is that we all know just by nature what's right and wrong, what hateful behavior is towards people, and we grow as human beings. I don't need grown men telling other grown people to end hate. Like, what are you doing? Black Lives Matter. Cute slogans meant to look like, oh, look at us. We're the good guys. You're not the good guys. You weren't the good guys. The message to send to these people is like, fuck off. You're not welcome in this league, dude. You don't get to go sexually abuse dozens and dozens of women and then join a roster with guaranteed money for life, essentially. That's the rewarding behavior these entitled athletes have gotten time and time again. The behavior that fucking Tyreek Hill has displayed publicly on camera for our law enforcement officers in his community is disgraceful.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're going to come out and second guess the police and act like they're the problem. There's two sides to this story and their behavior was unacceptable. We want them fired. Fuck off. No. And then to pretend that you care about your athletes, bullshit. Oh, we're going to make them wear a goofy helmet because that's good.
Yeah.
No amount of goofy helmets is going to fix what your sport does. And you've gone way fucking out of your way to protect the financial interests of the multi-billion dollar enterprise that you have running. I'm a fan of it. And I think grown adults can make decisions for yourself. But it's much like Doug Beatoff, Jackoff.
There you go.
The second gentle lady,
Yeah.
Doug Emhoff.
There
Fine. He's got a troubled past as a lot of people do. What with him fucking the babysitter, knocking her up and, I don't know, aborting that kid, whatever the fuck they did with that kid, smacking some broad at the Cannes Film Festival. Like, yeah, that, I don't think that person can't redeem themselves, can't become a good person, but you don't get to lecture us. The rest of us inherently know probably not a great idea to cheat on our wife, fuck our babysitter, knock her up, and then, I don't know. We just don't discuss what happened to that baby.
Yeah, mystery.
Yeah, can't figure that one out. We don't know. You don't then get to lecture us on toxic masculinity.
Yep.
That's the problem I have. The NFL doesn't get to lecture us about good behavior and being good humans when you show time and time again that, Joe Mixon punched a chick in the face. Most of us know not to do that.
Yeah.
But he runs faster than most humans. So what do we do? When Bennett Omalu, Dr. Bennett Omalu, discovered evidence of serious degenerative neurological condition affecting retired American football players, he believed, this is so adorable, he believed the NFL would welcome his findings and work with him to better protect their stars from this terrible disease. The reality was very different.
No,
he was dismissed, insulted, and ignored by an organization that is not well known for its love of constructive criticism.
He got very lucky with that, too. I mean, look at the guy who invented the water-powered car. He just got straight up killed.
Yeah, he was just killed. He was just killed. Look what I did. I help us.
I
with
solved climate change and the oil crisis at the same time.
I solved it all. Boom.
Dude, I just saw an Instagram post of a guy who did that to his truck, and everybody in the comments is just like, "Oh, count your days, dude. Sorry."
Mm-hmm.
It was nice knowing
exactly.
you. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what happened. Is this guy did the right thing, tried to bring up CT, and lost it all for it.
Yeah, he didn't lose it all, and it worked out for him. But his story's really interesting. I won't go into too much detail about it. He, after many years of struggle, Dr. Amalu has succeeded in getting the NFL and the wider world of sport to acknowledge the realities of harm caused to athletes by repeated concussive injuries. In the process, brought enormous relief to those affected and improved protection for future generations of athletes, a super heroic effort in the face of formidable opposition. So discovering CT, progress was slow at first. And the reason that's slow is because currently it can't be diagnosed in alive human beings.
Yeah.
That was the problem originally. So it took a lot of research on dead people who families had to donate their brains to this doctor in order to make this possible. Bennett examined slice after slice of this person's brain. It was Mike Webster, who was a Hall of Fame center for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who died at 50, I believe. Junior Seau put a shotgun in his chest in order to preserve his brain for later when he took his life. I can't remember Mike Webster. I don't remember exactly what his story, if he crashed his truck intentionally or but he committed suicide too, was losing it upstairs. He became concerned that his colleagues would find it unusual. This is the doctor, that he was obsessed with unlocking the story of Mike Webster's demise.
Mike Webster apparently died of heart failure, and then his death was later linked to chronic traumatic CTE.
Okay, he died at 50, I believe, right?
Yep.
Was he 50 years old?
Yep.
So this doctor was staying at his bench, so in his lab until 2 a.m. every night, obsessing over one man's brain. One solution would be to take some much needed time off, but he decided instead he asked for permission to take Webster's brain home. And the ever understanding Cyril Wecht, I'm assuming that's who's in charge of the lab there, once again granted his permission. Bennett was now able to focus on Webster's brain in private. I'm reading an article from Skyscape from a few years ago, by the way.
Okay.
He was so thorough in his work that he ended up spending an estimated $100,000 of his own money on glass slides alone. Wow. Eventually, he found the cause of Webster's problems, sections of his brain that had been reduced to a gray sludge. The doctor recognized a high concentration of tau proteins, a component part of neurons that are closely associated with degenerative neurological conditions such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. This was an extremely rare discovery in the brain of a 50-year-old man. Medical science had recorded similar issues in boxers since the 1930s, and this poorly understood condition was referred to as dementia pugilistica, commonly known as punch drunk. But nobody had ever found evidence of brain damage in NFL players until now. He showed his findings to Wecht and then to scientists at the University of Pittsburgh. All agreed that this was new and noteworthy discovery. Amalu termed the condition chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CT.
Encephalopathy.
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 I think it's encephalopathy. Yeah, I think it's pathy. They pronounce it CTE.
Yeah.
For us lay people. He submitted a paper outlining his discovery, the July 2005 edition of the journal Neurosurgery. Naively, he expected the NFL to be pleased and thank him for his discovery, which would enable them to better protect their most important assets, the players. The problem is there's always another group of assets coming up behind it.
Yep.
So it's not like you have these assets that if you lose those assets, you'll never gain more assets. So the NFL's thought was bury this motherfucker, slander him, and then we'll have new assets coming up. And who cares about the broken ones that are just going to fall off? Oops. We don't really care about that.
It's still like that in most industries.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Money is involved. And that's at the end of the day, all these people care about is money. They do not care about these players' health. And these players are adults. And if they want to sign off on that for the riches and the reward and the risk that comes with it, that's their choice. It's just like a trans person. As an adult, if you want to do that and you want to take on whatever risks that comes with, whatever potential decisions that may change in your mind over time, you're an adult. You can make those decisions for yourself. I don't have any problem with that. NFL players too. But it's not fair to bury that and not let them be aware of it and then just be like, nah, fuck them kind of attitude.
And listen, even if it's all the way out there and all the science is known, people are still going to sign up for the NFL.
Absolutely. Of course they are. Of course they are. We know the dangers of gambling, of smoking, of alcoholism. You know, you still have a right to do it. In fact, the NFL is encouraging it every day. You're inundated with, hey, gamble here, gamble there. Well, that leads to
drink Bud Light.
Most people losing their ass. So whatever, they're making money, so they don't care. They don't care.
You ever notice most of the ads are drinking, driving, and gambling?
Yeah, but do it responsibly.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, that's cute in slogan form.
Call this number if you have a problem.
Yeah. And maybe, you know what, maybe we'll get to a point where we will get to a point 100% where you don't drive cars anymore, that it's all AI and electric vehicles, and it just serves as a DD for you, you know, that it doesn't give you the opportunity to drive and then go get fucking as drunk as you want and drive around. But right now, there's a lot of people who will have a bunch of cocktails and hop in their car and drive home. It is what it is. It's less than it was in the 80s, 70s, 90s, but it's still happening. The NFL's own scientists who sat on the delicately named Mild Traumatic Brain Injury Committee wrote a lengthy rebuttal questioning the validity of Dr. Amalu's research and demanding that neurosurgery retract their article. They were unaware of one crucial and highly embarrassing piece of information. Bennett had acquired a second brain of a high-profile NFL player, Terry Long. He had committed suicide at 45 years of age, and his brain had the exact patterns of tau proteins as Mike Webster. Bennett wrote a second paper for neurosurgery, detailing his findings, and despite sustained pressure from the NFL, the journal did not reject his paper either.
Good.
Over the next few years, Amalu encountered more and more cases of NFL players who had died in tragic circumstances. They all showed signs of CTE, and those tragic ones are, you know, Junior Seau taking a shotgun to his chest to preserve his brain at 50 or less than 50 years old. Those include the Kansas City Chiefs player that showed up at the facility, murdered his girlfriend, and then blew his own head off at the facility in his 20s. I have his jersey, actual game-worn jersey.
Oh, damn.
Can't remember his name, but I have that. He wore that in a Colts game, which is kind of a bummer because Colts play indoors, and so you don't get the grass stains and shit like that on it. But you also have the tragic story of Aaron Hernandez, and there's no doubt. I think his CTE, when you examined his brain, was more advanced than anybody in the history of humankind at his age. So there's that.
Are you thinking about Philip Adams for the one who murdered and then himself?
Chiefs? No, that's not his name. It's Kansas City Chiefs murders girlfriend at the facility and then kills himself in front of coaches. The NFL doesn't want that story out there either. Nope. You'll find it. I gave you enough buzzwords there that you should be able to find it.
Hold on, it's Belcher. I'm trying to get his first name. It just keeps saying Belcher. Oh, Jovan Belcher.
Yeah.
Jovan.
Yeah. I believe that's a guy. Is there anyone else that did that too? I think that might be the guy. There's only been one person that's come over to my house and recognized it, and he's...
Yeah, this one's calling it, I think it's Belcher because this one's saying it was traumatic injury related.
Yeah. I didn't know that at the time I bought the jersey. Only one person has come over to my house and recognized whose jersey that was. And of course they were 97.1, the sports station in Detroit, talk station. He worked there. And he was like, I know what you got there.
Yep.
Let's see here. They also continued to dismiss Omalu, refusing to even acknowledge his published research or include him in discussions on the subject of brain injury in NFL players. There was a GQ profile. GQ published a profile of Bennett, and his groundbreaking work in 2012. He told them, I was naive. There were times I wish I never looked at Mike Webster's brain. It has dragged me into worldly affairs I do not want to be associated with. Human meanness, wickedness, selfishness, people trying to cover up, to control how information is released. I started this not knowing I was walking into a minefield. That is my only regret. How sad is that?
Yeah.
The profile brought the story to a wider audience. And in 2015, Concussion, a major motion picture based on his struggles, was released with Will Smith playing the role of Amalu. In an ironic twist, by the way, Will Smith would go on to most likely concuss comedian Chris Rock after taking offense at a non-offensive joke at his wife's expense. We all remember that. It's kind of ironic, you know.
A little bit.
His increased profile placed more pressure on the NFL, who until that point had only loosely admitted the possibility of a link between the sport and long-term neurological effects in 2007. In 2016, they were finally forced to acknowledge the reality of CTE. That same year, the AMA awarded Dr. Amalu their highest honor, Distinguished Service Award. He still faces a great deal of criticism of his work, much of it from individuals who he claims have close associations with the NFL. What cannot be denied is that the impact of his work has had on the wider world of sport is immeasurable. Widespread changes in concussion protocols of a huge number of team sports, soccer, ice hockey, rugby, all kinds. And that makes sense because there's probably something you can do in those sports.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of the NFL. You know, Ryan, famously, we've talked about it. I don't know what he's comfortable with me saying publicly, but it's been made crystal fucking clear to him, you know, don't even ask. The NFL is not interested in meeting with you about, you know, technology that you have patents for that could help diagnose this stuff within 5 seconds on the sideline. And the reason for that is what they would find is that every single player, sans the kicker and punter on a 52, 53-man roster, is on some level concussed.
Yeah.
They just are. So when you're a human being banging your head against something, you're not a woodpecker, you're not a ram, your body is not designed to take blunt force like that. And that's the definition of the NFL on every snap.
Somewhat.
These guys are having jarring reactions to their brain inside the skull. That is, whether they're at practice, whether they wear a goofy padded thing on their helmet and look like the Great Gazoo, that sort of impact is happening inside the head. And so
it's the brain up against the skull.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's bruising, it's swelling. Will they ever be able to do anything about it? My guess is no. But, you know, I don't know. I suppose modern medicine can be a marvel in many ways, and maybe you can. But the fact is, someone like that has technology that can, hey, look at me, I found a way to diagnose it really fast, and won't that help? And they're like, motherfucker, you are potentially risking $1 trillion corporation single-handedly. You can go away now. You can go away now. That's how much they care as human beings about fellow human beings. You know, there's too much money on the line. There's too many beer sales involved. There's too much gambling to be done. There's too many TV ratings to be involved. Too many rich billionaires that want to keep getting richer. Like it's what it is. And if they have to go gladiator level with these human beings, most of them from disenfranchised communities, by the way, if you want to go down that line of thinking, you know, is what it is. There was a game last night, Pittsburgh Steelers.
I was going to say before we move on, though, you did say the humans were not made to take blunt force trauma, but it's actually a fun fact I just had in my head for no reason. The human skull actually evolved to take blunt force trauma. That's how we got shaped like this from the Neanderthals, is for taking punches and stuff. Well,
what do you mean, having a cranium skull?
Yeah, a new study suggests that bones in the male specifically, by the way.
What about? I thought. Well, what is a woman?
This is just how this is how the males evolved. Not saying male or not saying man or woman, just male.
God, I've seen some women not look like they can take a punch.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been cracked by dudes before in the jaw and been like, motherfucker, and not go down like a fucking sack of wet potatoes. I've seen some women and they don't look good. They look like toddlers when they get hit.
Yep, right here it says The new study suggests that bones in the male of a human face evolved to minimize injuries caused by punches. The researchers argue that the competition for women, food, and other sources likely drove ancient male ancestors to exchange blows, and consequently develop a bone structure that helped protect them from those blows.
Well, protecting you from blows is one thing. Repeated stop and start of the brain
trauma,
head trauma. It's like a car accident a day for these guys. These guys are getting in multiple car crashes a day.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that. I think there's many of them that don't have, that were the gifts they were given are extreme competitiveness, drive, and athletic ability, God-given. And then they focus on that, they work on that, and they maximize that. And so a lot of those guys aren't, that's what they're wired to do. That's what they want to do. And they would absolutely sign off on that risk to benefit themselves, benefit their family. There's fame and fortune behind it. It makes a lot of sense. And human beings would do that, even if it was destructive to them later down the road. Trying to explain to a 23-year-old that there's very, very, very few documented cases of guys that go, I'm out. Andrew Luck is one of them. There was a first-round linebacker out of Wisconsin for the 49ers, retired after his rookie campaign, had a great rookie year as a linebacker, middle linebacker, and took a knee and went, no, you know what? My future is more important. My future health is more important than the fame and fortune that comes with playing in the NFL, playing for a historic franchise. And I'm sorry, I'm out. And, that would be an almost impossible decision to make in reality, but there's a couple of guys that have made that decision. But the fact is, when you start knowing the reality, at least they can make an informed consent.
Yeah.
This idea of desperately trying to hide this information from these people, now they can't hide it. And so they've decided to go the route of like, oh, look at us virtue signal how pure and awesome we are. No. You've shown us time and time again in this league that you are willing to hide absolutely abhorrent behavior. Men beating the shit out of women, getting drunk and beating the shit out of other guys in bar, like really shitty, aggressive behavior that you're absolutely willing to sweep under the rug. The behavior is well documented of Aaron Hernandez at Miami. And local police were able to turn a blind eye. School officials, coaches, teammates, all of them were like, the guy's really good. He's really good. And we've got a good roster this year. Who cares if he's being a menace and say, whoa, we'll get him this time. So, it's why it falls to me like, okay, you guys don't really care about women. You don't really care about bullies. You don't really care about the health and safety of these men. You don't, I want to be crystal clear about what I mean by that. I don't mean the players and I don't mean their coaching staffs. These are people for love of game. I'm talking about the people that are making the money at the top, the real money off the backs of these individuals. I absolutely believe Dan Campbell is devastated when he sees someone like Aiden Hutchinson go down or one of his players, or, those guys are going to be dealing with those realities as they get up in age. Like, fuck, man. Dan Campbell played 10 years in the NFL and probably had many concussions, Female Trump supporter stormed the field yesterday at Heinz Field. I guess that would have been in Pittsburgh. And Trump was there. I found it interesting that CBS never bothered, or NBC, I guess it would have been, Sunday Night Football, never bothered to show the former president in the stands of an NFL stadium. That, I think, is a first. I don't think that ever... Huh?
Have you ever seen cameras cut the Trump at any event ever?
No, but they usually would show that, and then the stuff starts going around when the whole fucking stadium is chanting USA, USA.
Exactly. Like that's why they're kind of like, don't show him. Don't. He wasn't there.
Yeah. And has there been times when these people have showed up at a stadium and it's like, hey, for security reasons, don't? Maybe that's happened, but that's a decision made. Like, we don't want the viral video out there showing 50,000, 70, 80,000 people all chanting USA. If they could have it on video with any sort of certainty that they could show Donald Trump on the big screen waving to the house of fans there, and the whole stadium would boo, they would fucking air that. It would be the only thing they would be talking about on ESPN.
Nope. I think they're scared after the NASCAR Let's Go Brandon event.
They're scared from that. They're scared when he showed up at the Army-Navy game.
Yep.
They're scared of when he showed up at the Alabama game and the whole fucking stadium was chanting his name and chanting USA and, standing ovation from a stadium full of people. That is not part of the welcome narrative that they're trying desperately to provide to the American public in the media. So, no, we decided yesterday that we're just not going to show him, which is kind of hilarious. I don't think it'll matter. I think most people see
the message still got out.
Yeah, and then it becomes a talking point. Instead, do you think we would even address the fact that he was at a event and people chanted USA?
No, it's so common at this point.
It's not newsworthy. It's not newsworthy. Like, who cares? Trump showed up at an event and 50,000 people showed up. So what? That doesn't mean anything. But you're so afraid of that or showing that you hiding it makes it newsworthy.
Yep.
It backfires on you. So this chick is identified as MAGA influencer Claudia Rose. Rose came running onto the field waving a pro-Trump sign before she was apprehended by security. And I have a real problem with this. I really do. Her sign read, "Trump secure border, Kamala open border," and received cheers from the Pittsburgh crowd, although she did not make it onto the NBC broadcast, which I think is stupid. It's a bullshit policy.
Yeah.
When someone storms a field and they don't want to show it, you got a streaker. Well, that was cute when you controlled the exclusive on the narrative. When you could make those decisions, and I get it, you want to discourage people from doing that, and so you don't show them. Unfortunately for you, we all have Twitter now. We all have social media, so you don't show it on the NBC broadcast, and then millions of people flock to Twitter and go, "Oh, I want to see this."
Yeah,
and
then we show here.
Yeah, and so here you go. Let's check her out. Kind of an viral look. Do we have pictures of her, Garrett? Can you pull up individual pictures of this person?
For sure.
She has gigundous tits. Looks like the old kissing bandit almost who would run onto Major League Diamonds and, kiss on the cheek. George Brett in the batter's box. She was very popular in the 80s.
No, I do want to take issue with this first photo. The finger on the trigger is pissing me off so much.
Yeah, I did that in a picture Jay and I took with the Crack Brothers, and I had my finger in, and I got fucking without mercy. Gun enthusiasts came after me.
Rightfully so.
You son of a bitch.
That's one of the 4 major rules, man. You don't break those.
Yeah. And you guys have learned that. And I know it now. I had to be told, I had an, what is it? A magazine or a clip? I had a clip.
Magazine.
I had a clip in my,
magazine,
my Uzi. I don't remember what I
magazine.
Had.
An AR-15.
I was holding an AR-15 and I put a clip in it. The clip was out of it. So there was no ammo in there for mine. What are the dirty hairy ones with the clip that spins? I had a
revolver
clip, magazine. I think you put a magazine in a revolver.
Yeah, totally.
I didn't have a revolver with a magazine. I had a clip in an AR-15, but the clip was taken out of the AR-15, and so for me, I wasn't going to hurt anybody, but it was still just like that's a hard and fast rule that you don't do that. See, she looks kind of cute in that picture. In the other one, she looks like
she has a couple where it's okay, and then she has a couple where I'm like, ugh.
Let me see some more of her.
Yeah, give me one.
Let me see some more pictures. Who put those up? Daily Mail.
Yep, these are Daily Mail.
Okay.
Like this one, it looks a little too fake for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's something very plasticky, fake
90% plastic,
and older. This is a 20-year-old sport. This is for someone in their 20s. She's clearly not in her 20s anymore.
No.
Are there more pictures, or is that it?
There's more.
Because that first one was really troubling.
How do you like this waistline?
Yeah.
Fake ass.
Yeah, totally fake ass, fake tits, fake
Kim
lip.
Kardashian look.
Yeah. I don't know who's going for that or telling them they look great. You know,
black guys.
So I don't even think black guys are into that.
The Kanye types are.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that looks better in the face, cute a little bit, but yeah, it's not going to age well. No. It doesn't age well.
No.
She says she was quoted as saying, "I don't even know how I did that shit, but I did it in the name of Jesus Christ and Donald Trump because we need to save this country." Her message isn't terrible.
No.
There's some parts of her that are pretty terrible. Oh, she's got a roops there. We'd love to roop.
Looks terrified.
Yeah. Dog's like,
he's seen some shit. That's a white woman and a big dog. I have questions.
Yeah, you're right. That dog's seen some shit. That's a good way to put it. She said, "I have no stamina. I don't go to the gym. Why work for it when you can pay for it?" Yeah, it looks like that someone that paid for it. Yeah, you can tell. "I did it with red, white, and blue running through my blood, my veins." She has over 55,000 followers on Instagram. My guess is 54,998 of those are dudes.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
And one of the other ones is her mom.
And she frequently posts scantily clad pictures with captions showing her political beliefs. She said her motive running across the field was to encourage people to vote for Donald Trump, not because they like him, but she finds Kamala's policies troublesome. Pennsylvania, you guys need to realize it's your last day to register to vote. We are going to be the one deciding states. I don't care if you like the guy, if you hate the guy. How was your life in 2016 versus how it is now? Stop voting with your feelings and vote with your brain. Look at your bank account. If you hate him, don't vote for him. Vote against her, that hoe. Kamala Harris.
Speaking of hoes, I think she does blackface.
Is that blackface?
That looks like blackface to me, Mike.
Boy, she really is going for a Kim Kardashian look, isn't she?
Look at the neck blend there. That is blackface.
Yeah. She's going orange face, dude. I think that's a Donald Trump support thing.
I mean, maybe my monitor's color's off, but that's dark.
Yeah, it looks pretty dark with the black hair too. Yeah, maybe. Vote for yourself. Vote for your family, your children. Vote for your bank account, your gas, your groceries, your rights, your freedom. Who cares if he says something offensive? Vote for your freedom. Wake the fuck up. Let's go. Here's where I have a problem with this. I think her message is right. I agree with her. Every time someone comes to me, it's like, "Did you hear what Trump said about blah, blah?" It's like, yeah, I'd like to hear it in context. Also, keep it in mind, he typically he punches above more than anything. That's really, when he says stuff, it's about people that attacked him. Usually that's typically his MO. It's not, anyone who's a MAGA needs to go to a re-education camp. He's not saying stuff like that, which I think is more bothersome when politicians say stuff like that, like Hillary did a few weeks ago. That personally bothers me more. But for Trump, he's usually targeting individuals, crazy Nancy Pelosi, demented Joe Biden, like elitists. That's who he goes after. He doesn't go after little people or giant swaths of voting population. It's not what he does. So the problem I have with this is I think you have a responsibility. If you're security, let's watch the video of her running on the field again.
Yeah.
Because if a guy does this, good chance a guy at the 50-yard line, a linebacker or something on one of these teams is going to fucking...
they're waiting for it. That's their favorite thing.
Just plant this son of a bitch. If this is a man, fucking puts a shoulder into this broad's back and drives that dude into the turf. And the whole crowd goes apeshit. They love it. So... you drop your shoulder and you put your entire body weight and you drive that human being into the turf.
I like how this guy came out of nowhere like, "Oh, I got this too, guys. Let me put my hands on her."
Yeah, I got her tit side.
Like he wasn't needed. They already had it handled.
I know, Gary, you probably haven't paid attention to a lot of these over the years, these incidents, but we all appreciate you're not going to get a flag. You're not going to get fined if you fucking murder one of these people.
No, but she might go off like a landmine when those implants explode.
That fair enough. Risk you take.
That'd be kind of funny.
These are classic examples of fuck around and find out, right? Yep. They are. They're classic. If you go onto the field, you might get the crowd cheering for you. You might have the camera accidentally catch your dong on TV.
You're fucking around.
Great. You're fucking around. You're having fun. you might find out that a middle linebacker on an NFL franchise is going to drop a fucking shoulder into your sternum and bury you.
Yeah,
that's
one won't fight
the find
back.
out part. So for her, there are no rules. This is gladiator sport, right? This is where you get to take your day out on someone. You get to take your fucking bitchy wife out on someone. And security, it's their job to eliminate any threats. You don't know what's in that woman's pockets. You fucking end that potential threat, period.
Yeah.
They do not belong on the field. They go on the field. That's great. We all laugh. We all cheer. Oh my God, look at the giant fake tits running around the field. That's the fun part. And then we all can't wait for the payoff where they get driven into the fucking dirt. Driven hard into the dirt.
Yeah.
Maybe even have to get carted off the field or stretchered off the field.
Ideally.
That's the find out part that we love so much about the fuck around part.
Yeah, it's like NASCAR. We all watch for the crashes. Nobody talks about it.
Right. And it's like to steal that from us seems so like such a missed opportunity. You know, I don't know. If I was head of security at Heinz Field, I'd be fucking cutting people loose today. I really would. I'd be terminating contracts and going, you know, you want to get cute because she's got giant fake titties. I'm with Garrett on this one. They should have popped on the field. Yep. There should have been 2 bombs that went off on that field. Titty 1 and titty 2. And you had a responsibility.
I think the ass would go off too.
Maybe if he did full landing.
I think if you got like somebody landed on her, it might be like squeezing a tube of jelly, but out of every side.
Yeah, maybe. And then she stands up and she's got this flat ass, flat chest. She looks like a 12-year-old boy. Yeah, everything's popped and blown out. And it's like, yeah, that find out was really expensive for you if you want to fix all this, you know? And again, I agree with what she said politically. I'm not saying she's stupid. No. I'm just saying we missed out on the find out part of the fuck around. And it sucks for us. You know, this doesn't happen every week. And
especially not somebody like that.
Yeah. Elon Musk doing something interesting. These guys are getting really innovative with this stuff. I got to admit. Some of these things we've seen, you know, typical political bullshit. I think it was brilliant when Trump came out with the no tax on tips. Like, can you get that through? Can you make that something? You know, they found out that tested really, really well with all demographics, all ages, all ethnicities, all religious backgrounds, like by a wide amount. Well, that's why Kamala went and acted like she came up with it 3 months later, because it tested really, really well. I love kind of outside the box thinking on stuff like that. Not saying that Trump came up with it, but whoever did, I think it's a great idea. And I would really like to hope one of them implemented it. So Elon Musk announced during a town hall, he's been doing these, you know, I haven't watched any of them. I don't care. I know, I don't think anybody is swayed by this stuff, but some of this stuff is kind of interesting. He was in Harrisburg at a town hall in Pennsylvania. A lot of these guys, God, I can't imagine watching TV in Pennsylvania right now.
Yeah, it's gotta be wild.
It's bad in Michigan, isn't it? Are you guys getting just buried with commercials?
Yep, it's all fucking Kamala ads here.
Oh, Kamala. Yeah.
Even I'm getting them. I'm like, I don't know why this isn't my feed.
Well, I'm talking about TV, and you probably don't watch a lot of TV. They
bleed through like YouTube. They bleed through Netflix, anything like that. You have ads on. They're bleeding through.
Yeah.
I'm getting like local politician ads.
I'm getting a lot of bleed through because the only thing I watch live are sporting events. So when the Tigers were in the playoffs, I was watching those, the Lions game, the 49ers game, stuff like that. But other than that, there's not a single thing I watch ever on network TV, ever. Yeah. And my Netflix, I don't get commercials. So I'm not seeing those. But
I got the poor people Hulu. I get them.
Yeah, sure. And I've had that too before, the poor people Hulu and stuff, and gotten the ads. I get that on some of them. I'm trying to think. There's one of them that gives me like 3-4 minutes of ads. And it's like
Amazon Prime.
Amazon's the one. Yep. Yeah. Is it Amazon? It might be even another one.
No, because Amazon Prime's like that for us. Like we'll get ads and it's unskippable, 4 ads in a row. It's like, this is just a whole commercial break. That's what I've been trying to get a rate. Why do I pay Amazon money for this?
There's another one too. If I looked it up, I could tell you. I think can you buy your way out of ads on Amazon?
Maybe.
Because we may have bought our way out of Amazon ads.
Yeah, I think Amazon makes a good point though. TV's flood last commercial break was 4 policies and 1 window replacement.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. Here, you're inundated. It's either there's are you guys getting the they them? She supports they them. He supports you. Are you guys getting that one? That one fucking cracks me up to no end because that cartoonish clown 6'4" dude with lipstick and a fucking wig and fake hilarious. That with a mustache. That guy is an absolute caricature. And every time I get a flash of that dude on the screen, I laugh. Him smiling there with the dopey looking Kamala Harris. That one cracks me up. And then we're seeing Kamala talking about, I don't know, Trump is Hitler or something. Those are constant. And so you're in a battleground state. Arizona is a battleground state. So I imagine Pennsylvania is getting just murdered with these ads. Even worse, because a lot of people believe this election comes down to Pennsylvania for whatever reason. They think that's going to be the deciding vote. Yeah. And so I got to think that, where Aaron just pointed out 4 out of 5 ads, there's probably is 6 out of 6, just every one of them. It's not 4 out of 5 dentists agree this is the best chewing gum for you. All 5 of them can finally agree on something. And it's political ads. So I have a surprise for you. So he randomly picked a person out in the crowd, Elon Musk, in the state who has signed the America PAC petition. I have a surprise for you, which is that we're going to be awarding $1 million randomly to people who have signed the petition every day between now and the election. He then spoke about the difficulties of getting word out of the petition because legacy media won't report on it. This news, I think, is going to really fly. Well, that's one way to do it. Musk had announced that his America PAC would give $47 to anyone who refers a registered swing state voter to sign a petition supporting the First and Second Amendments. See, that's tangible. That's great. I like that. I absolutely support the First Amendment, and I recognize the importance of the Second Amendment. I would sign that. And if someone gave me $47, like, all right. And I think they upped it to $100. Like, that'd be worth it. Yeah. That's real shit for people that are paying exorbitant amounts for gas and groceries right now. Fuck, me and you go down there and sign some thing saying, yeah, I support your petition. I support the First Amendment.
We do actually.
What's that?
We do actually support it. That's the fun part. I'm not even lying.
Musk made multiple appearances on the campaign trail. The billionaire shocked the audience, the cheering audience, when he said the first $1 million would be going out right then and there after a man holding a comically large check walked on stage. What a fan I am of the comically large check.
You got to hang something on the wall.
Hell yeah. The winner was ushered to the stage to accept the prize. You're welcome, Musk said jokingly, and gave the dude $1 million. So it's like all you people in this state signed up, and each day we're going to give $1 million away leading up to the election. So you get yourself in this mini raffle that's exclusive to people in the area signing his PAC saying, I support the First and Second Amendment. I love it. People I saw
Kamala, who's what's her PAC? She's going to give out $20,000 in like $1 million, $20,000 loans to Black people only.
Yeah,
to start businesses, and they're by the way, they're forgivable loans. So we're going to get that money back. Don't worry.
So that's just a handout. And by the way, the court already said
it's race-based taxes.
Illegal. It's illegal. You can't do that.
And it's race-based taxes.
Yeah, and they've already deleted it. They've already changed it. Like, oh no, it's available to anyone.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, nice try.
Yeah.
But I have no problem with stuff like this, incentivizing people to get out and stuff like that. I don't like the idea of a billionaire coming in like Facebook did last time and dumping $400 million and flooding an area. I don't like George Soros buying up $100 million in ads in Texas, trying to get Ted Cruz blown out of Texas. Like, that seems beneath the belt to me. That sort of stuff, when you target an area and you flood it with money, and so the ads become 5-1 in an area. I think that's really, it's a form of election tampering. I wouldn't want it the other way either. To be honest, I wouldn't want someone that had my beliefs to go into a market that is traditionally doesn't have my beliefs and just inundate it with money. you know, you can study that and see that it works on, you know, not people that are ardent about something, but people that are on the fence or people that are unaware, and those make up millions and millions of people. So it has an effect on them. And I think the individual states should be protected in some way from that kind of outside influence. But this, when you're talking about people in the state of Pennsylvania, and it's like, hey, we want support coming out here and show your support for this PAC. We're willing to fucking pay you. In fact, we're going to do a raffle a day and give $1 million. In fact, here's our first winner. Like, I love stuff like that. And Mark Cuban could do the same. Mark Cuban could do. And I like, if Mark Cuban came out today and said, I pledge to give $1 million to anyone who aborts a child in the next 15 days. Like, okay, great. Like something that he believes in. So Elon Musk really is kind of standing firm on the First Amendment, Second Amendment protections. So what does Mark Cuban believe in? He thinks abortion is awesome. So he should be, you know, like, put your money where your mouth is. You're a billionaire too. If George Soros said, I pledge to give $1 million a day,
he does
to anyone who can burn down their own city.
He does.
That's great. And you get random people all over some city trying to burn it down. And it's like, Bill Mahalski successfully burned his police station down. He successfully burned a Walmart down. I know, but I'm saying if you went out and actually said it, I would back this. Like, this is, if Reid Hoffman, for instance, came out and said, I will give $1 million to anyone who promises to read a passage of All Boys Aren't Blue to a grade school toddler in the next 15 days before this election. Like, I'm all for it. And if you're not familiar with the book that they want in the children's schools, let's see what some of that book that they're fighting, you know, because this is the book banning they're talking about. I'll just read you a couple passages.
Well, I did see that bumper sticker that lady reads banned books, so I'd like to know what she's into.
Yeah, I'll read you part of it. He was on top of me and slowly inserted himself into me. It was the worst pain I think I had ever felt in my life. He then added more lube and tried again, which felt better, but not by much. He began his stroking motion. Eventually, I felt a mix of pleasure with pain. I can't say I didn't enjoy it, because I did, but it was painful for sure. In those few minutes, though, I can say that he was gentle. His aim wasn't to hurt me, and my aim was for him to be pleasured, too. He didn't last long inside of me, thankfully. He gave me a kiss before he pulled out. I didn't stay long, nor did I masturbate after. I was in a state of shock. I just wanted to get back home. That's one passage. So if Reid Hoffman said, you read that passage, you know, in that book to a toddler, and I will pick a name out of the hat and give $1 million to. There's a passage like this one. I thought this one was good. And I remember
the ages of the characters we're talking about, by the way.
I believe these are teenagers.
Yeah.
These are young minors. Teenagers. Yeah. Minors. Yeah, these are minors. Yeah. Did I not make that clear?
No. Just making sure it was clear. Those are minors we're talking about.
Yeah. I remember the condom.
There you go.
Condom.
Close enough.
I don't know what that is. The condom was blue and flavored like cotton candy. I put some lube on and got him up on his knees, and I began to slide into him from behind. This is another guy talking about this, by the way, if you were confused.
Yeah. Same guy, different.
I tried not to force it because I imagined that would be painful. So I eased in slowly, backing that ass up. I think this is what we used to call it.
Yep.
Until I heard him moan. As we moved, I could tell he was excited. I was too. But the pride in me told me not to show it. I felt like I was in control and proud of myself for getting it right on the first try, all the while still being nervous. I wanted to stay dominant in that moment. We went for it for about 15 minutes before I started to get that feeling. Weakness in my legs, numbness in my waist. I finally came and let out a loud moan to the point where he asked me to quiet down for the neighbors. Sounds like more than a moan.
Yeah.
At that point.
A shout. That sounds like
just to wrap that paragraph up, I pulled out of him and kissed him while he jacked off, and then he also came.
Okay. That sounds a lot more like a different situation.
Get down for the neighbors. I liked this one too. One last one. I'm trying to get my hat in case Reid Hoffman offers $1 million to anyone who reads this to a toddler over the next 15 days before an election. I want to be in the running. So hopefully Marshall's upstairs listening. He's 9, but
it'd be probably impressive if you memorized it all.
Yeah, I could try. I could get the gist of it. I don't know how much I could memorize, but go to sleep. Let's see. And when he did fall asleep, he slept like a rock. You then asked me, do you feel that? Yeah, but I laughed. I said, get your hand off my butt. You giggled. That's not my hand. You're lying, I said. You then placed both hands on my hips as we lay side by side. There was still something poking me. You were fully erect at this point. I was nervous. We gonna get in trouble. You can't tell anybody, okay? You promise that you're not gonna tell anyone, except your teacher, obviously. You could tell your blue-haired teacher, but not your parents or anyone else.
No, just a trusted adult like your blue-haired teacher.
I promised. You then grabbed my hand and made me touch it. It was the first time I had ever touched a pannoose that wasn't my own. I knew what was happening wasn't supposed to happen. Cousins weren't supposed to do these things with cousins. But my body didn't react that way. My body on the inside was doing something too. It was that same feeling I had as a 7-year-old who knew he was different. They were 10, by the way, in that story. So I don't know. I'm just saying, I like the outside the box thinking when you're trying to get people involved. Don't you think, honestly? I mean, if it was like, I will give $1 million to anyone who aborts a child in the next 15 days. Like, dude, that's real incentive to get your what you're really striving for in this country. Someone like
quite literally money where your mouth is.
Yeah. I mean, he's morphing into Rachel Maddow. I don't know if you've seen him lately. He looks like a lesbian woman now, which is kind of cool. But if he put his money, he's got the money to do it. He absolutely does. He could literally, if 1,000 people aborted kids, and he gave each one of $1 million. How much what's 1,000 times $1 million?
1,000 times $1 million?
What's 1,000 times $1 million? I'm not, huh?
Billion.
$1 billion. Okay. So if he did it 500, he could afford 500 million.
Yeah.
He's worth like $4, $5, $6 billion, I think. So he could get behind that. This story really, let's see. Should we do the McDonald's story? These fucking people are unbelievable.
Uh-oh.
Representative Barbara Lee from California, so you know where she lands, and MSNBC host Alex Witt attacked President Trump on Sunday for working at McDonald's and serving food to some of his supporters. Did you see him go to the...
Yeah.
He's been talking about this for a while. Go in there. I'm going to work the fries. I'm going to serve fries. I'm going to work there longer than Kamala ever did.
Yep.
And that's the argument, is that this bitch is lying. She's never worked at McDonald's.
Yeah.
McDonald's issued a statement, by the way, about this. And they're playing it right down the middle, as you would hope.
McDonald's understands they have a lot of customers on everything.
Yeah. Yeah. The famous statement of, Republicans buy shoes too, famously attributed to Michael Jordan, which he never said.
Yeah.
But I want to sell my product to everybody, not cut off half the country. So McDonald's statement said something along the lines of, we're not red or blue, we're golden. See what they did there?
Yeah, the golden arches.
And they also said, we don't have any record of this person working for us in the 80s, but some records weren't perfectly kept, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
When talking about Kamala and whether she worked there, because this makes no fucking sense to me, by the way. None. Yeah. Like, if you're Kamala Harris and you want this fake narrative that you were some middle-class kid who did what a lot of middle-class kids do, and they got a job when they were 16, I got a summer job and I worked at, Jay and I have that story of working at Jeans Hardware, and
I worked at the Ritters.
Sure. And all kids have that, making some money, doing, taking some responsibility. Did Kamala work anywhere? I don't know. I have no idea. But if she really worked at a McDonald's, you would think this would be very easy. She would come out and say something like, I worked at the McDonald's on Jackson Street in Oakland. I worked at the one on San Pablo Avenue, right? You would be able to, like, Jeans Hardware. I worked at the Jeans Hardware on 12 Mile between Orchard Lake and Middlebelt.
Jimmy John's Farmington 8 Mile.
Yeah, right. Papa Romano's. I worked at that, 12 Mile and Middlebelt. I worked at Tam O'Shanter Golf Club at Orchard Lake and Walnut Lake Road in West Bloomfield. Yeah. I did a summer there at the golf course, get prepping greens and stuff like that. Like, that would be so easy to come out. And for her, it would be very easy to go, of course, I worked at McDonald's. I worked the fry machine. I worked at the one at San Leandro in Oaktown, and it's still there. And, blah, blah, blah. Like, that would be so easy to I understand this crazy orange man is saying lies about me. Don't fall for him. I worked at the one at 14th Avenue in Oakland. Yeah. That would be such an easy thing. And McDonald's, you would think it would be worth it for them to be like, oh, she worked at the one on San Pablo Avenue in 1986 for a...
It shows McDonald's hey, anybody can be, you start here, you can go anywhere.
Yes. And you would think it would be in McDonald's best interest and Kamala Harris's. You think they don't have the resources to go, I worked at this location. And they go, okay, go through our records. We might not have kept extreme records about every single employee that worked here for 2 weeks in the 1980s. That's fine. But can you go find who was the general manager of that location in 1986? Is he still alive? He is. Who was the assistant manager? And these people would go behind the scenes and track these people down and go, do you remember Kamala Harris? Here's a picture of her. Do you remember her working at your branch location in 85, 86, 87, somewhere in there, 83, 82? Do you have any recollection of that? And all you would need is one of them going, yeah, she looks familiar. I think her and one of her girlfriends worked here. I remember them. Yeah, they might have worked the fries. Yeah. And that's enough. That's all the evidence you need. But you haven't even gone to those lengths to be able to just identify McDonald's. By the way, this argument would make a lot more sense about where we were. Not that it matters. It's just the faux nature of it that bothers me.
It's the lying right to your face.
It's the lie to your face about something so stupid. Trump's lies are, this is, I use the best words. And you go, he doesn't. He does not use the best words. And you're like, okay. There's, this lie is meant to deceive. It's meant to personally make people feel like, hey, this person's one of us. She's from the mean streets of Oakland and she had to work menial jobs. And it's like, yeah, that's probably not true, but it would be so easy to go in there and find that out, to figure that out.
Oakland's a really, really weird way to pronounce Montreal.
Yeah, right. What was she, 12 to 17? The real actual formative years of her life were in, I spent many, what's that?
In Canada.
Yeah. So I don't know. So Trump's point in doing this is he wanted to be able to have the line, I spent 15 minutes on the fry machine. I've now worked longer at McDonald's than Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
It's what politicians do. They get out. And he's making a larger point about this. The amount of people I saw on Twitter last night talking about and what these people were saying here, Witt, the MSNBC host Alex Witt, questioned what the logic was of Trump going to a restaurant which produced iconic photos and numerous clips that all went viral online of Trump in McDonald's serving people in the line, drive-through line, all kinds of stuff. He has gone to a McDonald's. He's going to this McDonald's and he's in the Philadelphia area. He's going to work a fryer apparently before he goes to the Steelers versus Jets game. If you're on his campaign, and I know you certainly are not, viewers, I'm not making any implication of that. But what is the logic behind this? Going to a McDonald's, Democrat Rep Barbara Lee said there's no logic to it. It's a stunt. He has not put forth an economic agenda. He, as you know, appears to be not well. He's not well. So he just stumbled in like a dementia patient to a McDonald's because he's not well.
I work here.
And this is a stunt. Were people supposed to believe that Donald Trump took up a shift at McDonald's for real and he's getting a paycheck in 2 weeks on Friday? He's looking forward to payday now. This was a hold on, everybody. Hold the presses. This might have been a stunt. Thanks, Barb.
No shit.
Thanks, Dr. Witt. Holy shit. So this is just another one of those stunts that he will continue on through the campaign. And I think he really, really needs to focus. We really need to focus on making sure he's not elected. These people are hilarious, man.
Yep.
Fucking hilarious. Unbelievable.
It gets crazier every day, and I just like to laugh at it.
And I love it. I love the negative ones about him too, where they take a picture of Trump sitting in the booth there and they dress him up like Ronald McDonald
Yeah, I love those
graphics and shit, make him look like a slob. They're funny. It's like, that's what you get. You know, you go there and people are going to make McDonald's jokes about you. They're going to make fat jokes about you. They're going to dress you up like a sad, pathetic clown after the fact and parody you. Like that. That's all fair game. That's fun. And all still going viral.
Yep.
Hey. But I don't know if you thought he was actually working a shift at McDonald's yesterday.
I was almost convinced.
I thought he was for it, Garrett.
I thought he was changing careers.
Okay, let's do some email and get out of here. You know what? Why don't I read these before I get to email? This part of the show is brought to you by our and your insurance expert. Are you paying too much for health insurance? Are you uninsured? Health insurance can be confusing. Nick Matthews from Your Insurance Expert is, in fact, an expert in health insurance, life insurance, Medicare supplements, so you don't have to be. Call Nick Matthews at 248-914-1173. Please do. Call Nick Matthews at 248-914-1173. This part of the show is also brought to you by our friends at the Deer Lake Athletic Club. Offers a full gym, fitness classes, 3 pools, swim lessons, tennis, pickleball, and more. The Backcourt Restaurant inside the Deer Lake Athletic Club has weekly specials like Taco Tuesday, kids meals for $5 on Thursdays, live entertainment on Fridays and Saturdays, and now they're open on Sundays at 10 a.m. for breakfast and football all day. Book your holiday party before December 1st in their banquet center for a special offer. Call 248-625-8686 for more info, or you can stop in at 6167 White Lake Road in Clarkston, or go to their website, DeerLakeAthleticClub.com. Thank you to both of them for being sponsors. And I'll be honest with you, you go in there and sit down and you identify yourself as a listener. If Forey is there, he's going to buy you a shot or something. Like they'll look after you.
If he's not there, his staff is calling him.
Yeah. And the good thing about anybody that sponsors this show is they're also listeners. So they're monsters as well. They get it. Yep. And they're finding brotherhood in you. If I was doing a read for, $5 footlong sandwiches, hilarious. $20 footlong Subway sandwiches.
Yeah.
There's no one that's just a corporate sponsor and they're fine. Go support them if they support what supports you. The difference is these people are listeners. They're in on inside jokes. They're in on all of it. They want to take care of each other. I've seen it work over the years. And so please, the food is spectacular. Nick is unbelievable at what he does. So please plan your birthday there, plan your outing there.
I got to call Forey.
I know you are. Text Forey. All right, let's do some email.
Yep. And speaking of corporate sponsors, don't forget our Amazon link.
Link, yeah.
My birthday's coming up. If you want to buy me anything, use the Amazon link.
Yeah. I don't know if they sell those items on Amazon. Do they?
They do.
They do. Okay. So, do you prefer the loose, the long jiggly ones, or do you like the ones that suction cup on the wall that you kind of back that ass up?
I like a good suction cup. I like a good suction cup.
What is it with you and the suction cup ones?
I have to do less work. I could just set it and forget it.
Do you have a color preference?
No.
Are you like one of those?
I'm not a racist.
Fluorescent guys? Are you kind of a black?
No, not a racist.
Not a racist?
Yeah, okay, just whatever works. As long as the suction cup is sticky enough. That's all I ask.
Okay, you really want to...
Yep, I really want something.
It's going nowhere. It's going to rip the fucking
it better.
The drywall off the wall when it comes off.
It better.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're in the market, just go to radiofor1.com, click on our Amazon link, shop for whatever you think might be good for Garrett.
Yeah.
And send him his way. He will definitely give you his address if you buy the right something. If you want, he's a big fan also. If some of you may not know, he loves Snicker bars. He eats his upside down, so veiny part on the tongue first. He's a big fan of that. So if you're thinking about candy bars or anything else, you can send them along to Garrett. Public school locker rooms. Francis writes in. Thank you, Francis. I love hearing from Francis. Hello, friends. I attended Utica Community Schools from 1985 to 1999. And after graduation, I worked 5 years as a public school custodian for Warren Consolidated Schools and Richmond Public Schools. Okay, so this is someone in the know around the young minds. In the dozens of buildings in in the dozens of buildings I've entered the locker rooms. That's written like shit, Francis. Thank you for fucking this up, sir.
EJ's highlighter.
Let's see if we can get the gist of it.
All right.
Entered the locker rooms, always had a coach's office. So he's entered dozens of buildings, that had locker rooms and whatnot. His point is they always, in all caps, had a coach's office that had a private changing room and shower for the adult. There is never an okay time for an adult to be naked around children. The only logical explanation is nefarious intentions. That's my opinion. Best wishes.
No, Frank, that's why my only caveat was an emergency. A kid got seriously injured in a shower. And then even by that point, you think his brothers would probably throw some fucking towels on him.
Yeah. So you're talking about why an adult would enter that space?
That's like the only thing I could think of logically.
Well, there could be reasons, like you've had the locker room is where a lot of these people are settling arguments, and you've gotten a situation. I'm just trying to think outside the box. In reality, if you had a situation where these kids keep getting in fist fights, they're bullying a weaker kid in the locker room when they don't think anyone's around of adult supervision.
Where they do it in the military.
Right. So now you get into a situation where you need an adult station in there to keep an eye on things, make sure, blah, blah, blah. I could see that. But this idea, and this goes back to a story we did last week where a guy was talking about changing and showering in the locker room. It was a trans
tennis coach.
The trans
with the girls.
Tennis coach showering with the girls, but then made some in-passing reference.
Yeah, like, did you get your periods yet?
Well, he was doing those, but he also made some passing comment about, when we're all changing or showering, even like just boys with men. And it was like, wait a minute. Why would a coach ever? Because my thought is the coach is walking the sidelines. He doesn't need to shower after the big game, unless it was a fucking rain or snowstorm and everybody got filthy. The athletes are the kids are the ones running around sweating, getting dirty and stink, not the coach with the fucking whistle. Why would he ever need to be in a situation where, all of us on the team got to go shower together? No need. That should never happen. And that's Francis's point. Like, I've been in lots of these situations. You would never have a situation where an adult is in the kids' boys' room, girls' room. And that's what I would think. Let's see here. This son of a bitch. Fucking this guy. You know what? I put my goat out.
James.
Snatched. Fucking James, dude. He sends me this. Fucking asshole. And then his subject line is not to get your goat, but, and then for those that are just listening to us, dime size 5 coin tubes. Each tube holds 50 coins. He's not getting it. Can't have it. My goat, that is.
Yeah.
He follows up with a different one.
All right.
This motherfucker, he's relentless with my goat. I don't know why.
Because he's running out.
It's like he wants in my kitchen so bad. And I'm just like, no, you're not welcome in my kitchen, sir. And fuck off if you think you're getting my goat. You're not. Pegging is his subject line.
All right.
You keep talking about pegging.
I think that's just some gaslighting.
Yeah, this is projection and gaslighting. Okay? He's staring in a mirror when he makes this. He's not having my goat on this one.
No.
You keep talking about pegging. Ew, gross. First, it's the awesome co-host, then unquenchable love for the bidet use. Now everything about pegging. I knew it wouldn't be long. Just come out with it, cult leader. We'll still love you. I'm not doing that.
No, nobody's accusing you. Just him.
Look, I admitted, do I enjoy some light asshole play from time to time? The bidet is a bidet. It's amazing. I didn't say anything about pegging or liking pegging. He's out of his mind if he thinks I said that. Unquenchable love for bidet use? Well, it sort of is. I'm looking forward to that more than golf up north this weekend, because this is the place that has it, where the guys are like pounding on the door like, dude, we're going to be late for our tea time. And I'm like, give me a minute. Just give me a minute. So that, you're not getting my goat. Sorry, dude. Nice try. If you'd like to join the email conversation, walters@detroitcast.com. I love reading your emails. Garrett loves hearing your emails. Say whatever you want. We usually read them, whether they're offensive, not offensive, funny,
or just getting your goat.
Calling us out. We do not welcome the ones that try to attain my goat.
I mean, we read them anyways.
Implant themselves in my kitchen. Like, those are not welcome, but everyone else is. We've read highly offensive ones, even racist ones. So
yeah,
we're very proud of that fact. Just saying. But we'll call it a day there. We'll leave it there today. Have a great day, Garrett. This was fun. When's your birthday, by the way?
October 30th.
Oh, wow. So you're a day before Drew.
Yep.
Drew's a Halloween baby.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So
good time of the year.
Sounds like you guys have a lot in common, if you know what I mean.
Uh-oh. Are we talking about pegging again?
Yeah, we're going down the pegging road.
A little behind
that was a joke, folks. That was a joke. So yeah, you've got what day is today? Today is the 21st. You've got 9 days. If you're going to get Garrett, you said you wanted suction cup ones.
Oh yeah, more expensive the better.
I don't know if you've got a girth or length preference.
Here's an arm for reference.
Okay. Do you like the Joe Louis fist at the end of it, or do you like?
Yeah, if we want to get creative, we could try. I'll review them.
You don't like standalone wiggly ones.
No, those get floppy over all the time. You got to put a lot of work into that.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying, like, hey man, I'm providing information for people. So if they want to go that route, you've told people what your preference is. We'll leave it at that.